Hey guys, what's going on? Stormrider36 here, and today I have another Black Ops 3 gameplay commentary for you. And this commentary is on Outrider, one of the specialists that you can unlock very early on in the game. And this is just my review of the specialist for people who maybe haven't bought in the game yet or who haven't used her yet, just so you can get a good feeling for who she is and how her playstyle can either go with yours or go against yours. So it's pretty much just to know if she's right for you. I personally think she's a very good specialist, especially because she's the second specialist, so you can unlock her right away, and she's very good. She has two abilities like every other specialist, one that's lethal, one that's non-lethal, technically, because it doesn't directly kill you, but it can help you kill things, so, you can see right. I don't really know what to classify it as. So we're going to talk about the Sparrow first. A lot of people call Outrider Sparrow because everybody uses the Sparrow ability, and it's just the bow and arrow that she has with the explosive arrows. Everybody that I talk to doesn't really know her call name. Same with Prophet. They don't know he's Prophet. They call him Tempest or something like that. And I just think it's kind of funny. So it's a sniper-like ability that is a long range, more long range and medium range bow and arrow that is similar to the Tempest. It has a little charge up time, except for it runs out by shooting, or if you don't shoot it as much, it runs out over time. And it has the explosive arrows, like I said before. Now these arrows have splash damage, so you don't have to directly hit somebody to do damage to them. And you can kill somebody with a single close arrow if they do not have flak jacket. So if somebody's maybe around a corner and you can't really see them, you could stick the ground near them, and it would kill them with the explosion because it's close enough. However, flak jacket will stop that from happening. They can't die from one arrow that is not a direct impact, because there is no way to survive a direct impact arrow from the Sparrow bow. If there was, that would completely shut down the specialist, and no one would use her, because everyone would use her counter. And the Sparrow is really used to counter snipers and actually to counter campers. If there's a camper in a window, you just pull back the bow, walk around the corner, shoot it right where you know they are, and you've dealt with the camper. The camper's dead. And then a sniper could outrange you. You could have an SMG, you could have a shotgun. Well, the Sparrow could be your third gun, technically, because then you could pull that out and outrange them, because the Sparrow has a very, very long range. And it has a charge for its shot. Now, the longer you charge it, the longer the distance, obviously. And then there's the less drop-off that you get as you charge it longer. It has an arc to it, but the more you pull it back, the less that you'll notice the arc. If you pull it back all the way, it won't start dropping off until extreme distances, probably distances you won't find in the game, or that you won't find affect you, because you might be aiming at the middle of the chest and it might drop to maybe a little bit below the stomach or right in the middle of the abdomen, somewhere around there. So it's not really something you have to worry about when you're fully charged. But you do not have to fully charge this weapon like the Tempest to be able to fire. You can fire it whenever you want when you're pulling it back, but depending on how far you pull it back is how far it'll go without hitting the ground, and the arc. If you instant fire it, that's only for close range, because it'll arc a little bit and then hit the ground maybe 7 feet in front of you, and then, if they're far away, you're out of luck, because you have to get another arrow out, and by then you're probably dead. Now, you don't have to pull it all the way, like I said, but most of the time it doesn't take very long to pull back. It takes a fraction of a second to pull back, so most likely you're gonna pull it all the way back. And it's not a perfect specialist weapon. It has two counters that I've noticed, and it's actually flak jacket, because if you miss your shot and you hit near the person, they're not gonna die, because flak jacket is very powerful in this game, just like it was in Black Ops 2, and that's why a lot of people are running it, because they know that they can survive grenades, the Sparrow bow, the War Machine, different specialists that do explosive damage. They can protect themselves from it. And actually snipers, I know I said it was a counter to snipers, but snipers can counter it. If you're a skilled enough sniper, you can outrange the Sparrow, because when you think about it, they have to pull it back all the way to be able to hit you if you're at the proper range for a sniper. And if you have quicker reactions, then you're going to be able to zoom in, shoot them before they can pull back the thing and let go and aim properly. Now, sometimes people will get like a little flick shot. I've gotten a few. It's lucky, or you kind of know where they are, so you can kind of determine where they are pretty early on. But yeah, those are the two main counters to the Sparrow. Now there's the Vision Pulse, which is the non-lethal specialist ability, and it's a radar pulse that is sent out in a certain radius around Outrider, and it has a travel time, so it doesn't instantly show everything. It has to travel to the edge of its area of effect before before the timer for it to stop working happens, and you can actually escape the range. On the mini map, there's a circle, a little red circle, and then another circle that's spreading out or going towards the edge. That's the radar sweep. So if you're towards the edge of the circle, get out of the circle, because then Outrider can't see you, and then you can go back in and be completely invisible, and that person is probably not going to understand why you aren't visible to them, because every enemy within that radar pulse is visible through the walls, underground, above them. It doesn't matter where they are. They can see you. It shows the direction you're facing. It shows your movement for a few seconds, so they know what you're doing. But it does dissipate, and it doesn't just stick to you. And it shows you in red, which is a very aggressive color, and it's something that catches the eye, so the person who's using Vision Pulse is going to instantly know. So whenever I turn red in the middle of a game, I usually freak out because I'm like, oh shit, they know where I am, what do I do? I usually try to run away as fast as possible and like get around corners, so they might come around the corner pre-firing, but I'm already gone. Hopefully you can get out of range. Some people say it's OP, overpowered. I don't think so, because it's balanced by its minimal range and the fact that counters exist to it. It's countered by UAVs, actually, so if you are near the person who has the Vision Pulse and they use it and your team has a UAV, you see the center of that circle. You'll see the red dot when the UAV sweeps, so you'll know where they are, so you can easily just sit there and look for them, or you can try to move to a place where they're going to go to try and get somebody, because they think they're all powerful because they have these red outlines of everybody on the map. So UAVs are actually pretty good counter. I've used UAVs to predict where they're coming from, and then that gives me the ability to know kind of like how they know, so then it's an even playing field. So if they're better than me, they'll still kill me. But if I'm better than them, they won't get the drop on me. Snipers are another good counter, because, it's the range factor. You're far enough away from the Vision Pulse that you don't get struck by it, and you know that they're in there, so you pretty much have an area where they are. And that's another counter, is that they pretty much give away their position, and maybe even their team's position, because maybe their team is all around them. They give away their position in order to see the other team that is within a certain area. And then shotguns are another one. If you're running around with a shotgun, you probably don't care if you're in a building that Outrider's just spotted you, because you have a shotgun. You can one-shot her if she gets close enough to you, and you're not really going to care, because you're just going to be able to just pop her, and that'll be it. She would have wasted her Vision Pulse, and you would have been on your way. Now, both specialist abilities, and this goes for every specialist, the ability once you die doesn't come back. Now, some abilities are special, like gravity spikes and everything, and I'll get into that once I start using all of them. But, and then what I like is that each specialist has their own background. Now, Outrider is a Brazilian child that grew up in poverty, that, from a very young age, jumped from rooftop to rooftop in the villas, and had, like, this liking to overwatch people walking around in the street, predict their movement, and that's pretty much where she got her name, Outrider, or she's otherwise called by the other specialists, Overwatch. You'll notice whenever you kill somebody who's playing Outrider, your character will say Overwatch down or Overwatch neutralized, something like that. Because her character is known for being above and looking down and predicting where you're going to go and being very lethal with one shot, kind of like a sniper. So she's like an elite sniper. She's Brazilian. And I kind of like the fact that they gave each individual specialist their own little backstory and everything. And I don't know, I've always liked games like Team Fortress 2 that have done that. Smite, they've done that. Destiny in some facts, like some of the characters from Destiny have their own backstories, and I really, really enjoy that. It's a little bit more level of depth that not all game developers go to. Like, there's some games where your character is unnamed. A good example for that is usually in the Battlefield ones, you're a random soldier. You don't have a name. Uh, Another good one would be Counter-Strike. Your character doesn't have a name. You're just a random counter-terrorist or terrorist. No one really knows who you are. And then Subnautica is another big one. You don't have a name. You're just a sole survivor of a spaceship crash. So I think it's pretty cool how they've individualized each character, and they have their own personality and their own backstory. And I really, really enjoyed that whole, and it's even more customizable because you can play someone who's like you. You can play somebody who you think is a badass, who you think, is pretty chill and laid back. I like Sparrow because she's pretty efficient, she's pretty quiet, and actually, there's relationships between the specialists too. Like Sparrow does not like Prophet because of the fact that he's overdone it with the modifications to his body. He believes that Metal needs to come closer to man for people to be perfect. And Sparrow just doesn't see it that way, and she doesn't really like the fact that that most of his senses have turned to electronic. Even in his voice. And, multiple times if you're playing with a Prophet and you're Outrider, you'll hear her say, "What have you done to yourself? Would you just look at yourself?" Things like that. She doesn't approve of what he's done, and he doesn't seem to care. Because whenever she starts the conversation, he just replies. He doesn't care what she thinks, and I think that's pretty cool for his character. He's kind of laid back, like, oh, I'm this all-powerful robot human that is the perfect mix between the two. I don't know. I just like the way that is personally, and I really hope that if they add new specialists, that they continue that trend, that they're able to, put people in that flow with the game and flow with the current characters, and I think that that's a really good DLC point for them. So that's my thoughts on Outrider or Overwatch. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please leave a comment and a like below. It really helps me out. Helps me to know that people are enjoying what I'm doing so I can keep doing it. Or maybe it helps me change my content so you enjoy it more. Subscribe if you want to see more. And tell me what you think of the video. And again, I just want to thank you all for watching. And this has been Stormrider36, and I will see you all later.